Muslims, so we believe in Chalma virus, or Tuppi virus if you're Wahhabi, and if you're Sufi, so then Turbin virus. Yeah, so, but white people, they can carry on with the corona virus, isn't it? Because they wear normally the corona thing. Okay, so Kitab al-Da'wah. Obviously, in terms of Kitab al-Da'wah, all of the muamalat, okay, with exemption of very few issues on which we have the ahadith, which comments. The entire muamalat are based on the principle of these guys Shafi'i, these guys hidden Wahhabi. It's culture. In Hanafi school, all of the muamalat are based on the urf. So in Usul al-Fiqh, inshallah, we're going to learn, obviously after Usul al-Shashi or whatever you are doing right now, Manar or whatever, the next one is going to be Talwih, isn't it? So in there, you are going to find out that in Hanafi school, we have one unique thing. So Quran, Sunnah, Ijma, Istihsan, all of them things, and one of them is urf. So urf means muamalat. We do not use the urf in the early chapters, for example, wudu, except do you know the masail of the minor filth? In there we use the urf. Only Abu Hanifa uses, but that is rejected by Muhammad, isn't it? The official position is the position of Imam Muhammad. But Abu Hanifa tried to engage the urf even in there, but was rejected. Okay, but mainly the main usage of the urf is muamalat. In that case, why are we studying here? I mean this one. It's no more applicable. Understand? So muamalat is no more applicable. So what is written in here is no more applicable, but we are studying just to learn the principles of how to apply it now. Understand? But unfortunately, many of our colleagues, students, etc., so they are just stuck inside of the book, so they cannot get out of it. Understand? So based on that, they even may judge on you that you are not married to your wife. Why? Because the conditions are not met. Understand? Well, these were conditions then, but now we have totally different thing. Understand? So that's why you guys have no right to apply muamalat on the contemporary situation. Okay, but then why are we studying? Once more, we are learning how to implement these principles. So just to see how they did then, just to be able to implement it now in our condition. Okay, so that's why, keep in your mind, you cannot bring this into the contemporary life. This is invalid, expired. Okay, but only we are learning how to use the principles. Okay, so that's why, for example, when you go, for example, for the marriage, okay, so what Imam normally says, or for example, in the contemporary secular, wherever you do your marriage, so what that person says, you say, John Smith, do you take her, for example, Lawrence of Arabia as your wife? According to Khuduri, you have to say, I did in the past. But in our time, we say, I do, and that is valid. Khuduri says, not valid. We say, culture. In our time, saying, I do take her means certainty. Do you understand? But in the past, no. You have to use only, if it's future, only order and past tense. Or two past tenses, isn't it? But in our time, we say both are future tenses. Okay, so that's mudara. Okay, so anyway, that is quite important. Kitab al-Da'wah. So Da'wah is also just another issue of the muamalat. So that's why we just go with the secular law, as long as there is no oppression in them. So what could be the operation? Obviously, according to Islamic law, if I steal your money, and even after 10 years, I still have a right to take you to court. Am I right? But in contemporary British law, after 7 years, it's expired. Understand? Means, in that situation, it's contradiction. Understand? Yeah, so that means that now we're going to rebel against it. No, no, no. Obviously, we are going to respect the law of the land. Okay, but we let the offender know, saying, I'm not forgiving you, even if law of the land is not supporting me to take back the money that you have stolen from me. In Yawm al-Qiyamah, Allah will back it up. Allah will back my case up. Okay, so just if he has a bit of dignity, he will refund you, or else Allah will take care of that. Understand? Okay, سيدي. كتاب الدعوة. قال المصنف رحمه الله ونفعنا بعلومه وبكم آمين. إيه خدا. كتاب الدعوة. دعوة. Who knows what's the meaning of da'wah? Linguistically, da'wah means da'a yad'u. To call. Da'awtu fulanan. I have called someone. Okay? And then in the technical term, in the fiqhi term, it is claim. Da'wah. Okay? But obviously, the roots in the technical term are different. I mean, the wazn is different. So you cannot say da'awtu. Okay, so you cannot say in the court case da'awtu, but you will say idda'aytu. So it is ifti'al. In the technical term, we use the wazn of ifti'al. But what about da'a yad'u? What's the bab of the da'a yad'u? Yeah. Nasara yansuru. So what is the da'a? So is it salim or is it mahmud or is it mudha'af? What is da'a? Yeah. Da'a. Do you guys agree with him? You are not studying sarf, aren't you? Sarf, you're not studying sarf. Sarf, in our mashayikh in Uzbekistan, they used to say 2 wings that students should have. One is sarf and the second is nahu. The bird with no wings cannot fly. Student with no sarf and nahu cannot understand. Sarf and nahu is your main foundation. Make sure that you guys study it properly. Okay? So even our mashayikh, they used to make us to memorize. Do you know all of them 22 abwab? At least one example for all of that. So we used to do nasara, 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 nasara. Do you know all of them things? Okay, intasara, intasara, intasaru. So we used to do all of that. Yeah, so it helps a lot. It helps a lot. If you just go to the works of Imam Jurjani, Sayyid Sharif Jurjani, or his teacher Imam Taftazani, Shafi'i, Ash'ari. So both of them, they unlock so many issues which early scholars were stuck on based on sarf. Okay, so they just hana. So it's very important for you guys to learn it. Yes, it is naqis. قال المصنف رحمه الله ونفعنا بعلومه وبكم آمين. المدعي من لا يجبر على الخصومة إذا تركها والمدعى عليه من يجبر على الخصومة. مدعي, the claimant, and the defender. Can you give me the definition of the claimant and the definition of the defender? Based on your own understanding. Who is the claimant? The defender provides the proof. Are you married? Where did you get this definition from? No, because if she would be married, so then I would understand that she would claim and he has to prove. Understand? Or else, why are you giving me this definition, you know? Okay, now from this side. Yes.
Claimant will be the one who's making the claim, and
What about the proof?
the claimant has to provide.
You know, we have this hadith. حدثنا, let me just give حدثنا فلان عن فلان عن فلان عن فلان قال الرسول عليه. So شاوروهن وخالفوهن. Ask them and oppose them. You will be right. Understand? Hadith is fabricated, but today I have proven that it's authentic hadith. Yeah. So anyway, why do you say that the defendant should provide the proof? So in that case, I mean, it will be messed up because everyone will claim anything, isn't it? Yeah. So it's the claimant who has to provide the proof. But what about the defender? If claimant is unable, yes, he takes the oath. Yes, because the default condition of the people that they are innocent unless otherwise is proven. So that's why, as long as you are unable to prove, he does not have to do anything. Okay, but just for the sake of justice, in the vast majority of the cases in Islamic law, the defender will take oath, but not all the time. So there are certain masail in which defender never takes oath. Give me only one example. In the marriage, defender does not take oath. Excellent. So anyway, Sayyidi, now listen to the definition of Imam Quduri and tell me, do you agree with him or not? The mudda'i, the claimant, man la yujbaru ala al-khusuma idha tarakaha. He is the one who is not forced to carry on with the case, with the court case, if he does not want to. The claimant is the person, if he says, I don't want to carry on, so judge does not have a right to force him to carry on. Do you agree with this or not? What is happening in this definition? What Quduri is trying to do in here? Yes, please. Yes, ladies, what do you think? What Quduri is doing in here? Okay. Obviously, what he said is right, because in most of the cases, if claimant says, I don't want to carry on, judge does not have a right to force him, except in few, isn't it? Give me example of one. If you accuse someone about his honor, about his dignity, you do not have a right to pull out, isn't it? Unless you get the punishment for slander and then you get lost. I disagree with Imam Quduri. Why? Because he's giving the definition by the hukum, which is not permissible. So it's the same as to say, what is namaz? Yes, namaz is something, if you do not do, you are sinful. It is, we call it, in Arabic language, we call it التعريف بال تعريف بال تعريف بالحكم. تعريف بالحكم is مردود. It's not acceptable. Okay, but because it became very widely spread, you open the usuli books, you open the mustalah books, so most of the time, I mean a lot of the time, you see تعريف بالحكم. So it became like widely spread. Okay, so قاعدة فقهية says ما عم خف. Whatever gets widely spread, it becomes lighter, it becomes lesser in terms of its hukum. So that's why scholars accept it, kind of accept it, or else, according to the principle, it's not permissible. Ta'rif should, the definition should be by its essence and not by its hukum. all of these small, nuances, all of these principles, you guys need that, because this year they're graduating, aren't they? Yeah, so all of this is very important. Okay, so because when you are reading a book, at least if you are unable to identify who is the author, at least you should understand what he's saying or what he's doing, the technique that he's using, or else it's like a newspaper. Any just random white guy reads it in the buses, but you students should be a bit higher than the layman. Okay, that's this. And then he says, وَالْمُدَّعَ عَلَيْهِ, and the defendant. The defendant is the person, مَنْ يُجْبَرُ عَلَى الْخُصُومَةِ. So he is the one who will be forced to carry on in the case. So he cannot say, yeah, I'm going to pray tahajjud. No. Tahajjud is no more workable. Person is claiming against you. You have to stay until case is over. Okay, the same problem is again ta'rif bil hukm, but again, as we said, widely practiced, so we just take it easily. ولا تقبل الدعوة حتى يذكر شيئا معلوما في جنسه وقدره فإن كان عينا في يد المدعى عليه كلف إحضارها يشير إليها بالدعوة وإن لم تكن حاضرة ذكر قيمتها. So the claim will be invalid unless it will not be effective, it will not be valid unless claimant clarifies what exactly, and what's the quantity. So I will say, yeah, so he took, for example, my barley without my permission and it was 10 kgs. Okay, so you will clarify. But if it is something which is still there, the offender still possesses it, so then judge has to order the defender to bring the commodity so that the claimant can actually clarify that it is actually the thing. Yes, this is what he has stolen from me. And if it's not available, for example, it is disposed, so then the claimant should clarify how much does it cost. So as far as I know, in the contemporary court cases, they do not bring the commodity. Okay, so we say the main important thing. So pointing at something in fiqh, we label it as. So what is the main the main definition? Pointing at something. We call it as ta'yin. Do you remember? So even if you remember qabd in fiqh, in Hanafi fiqh, what is the qabd? Ta'yin. Qabd is ta'yin. So ishara, qabd, all of that is under one umbrella called ta'yin. So if ta'yin is done anyhow, we say claim is established. Okay, so that's why you cannot say that, for example, the contemporary court cases are not valid because the defendant does not bring the commodity. We say ta'yin is there, so the claim is valid. وإن ادعى عقارا حدده وذكر أنه في يد المدعى عليه وأنه يطالبه به وإن كان حقا في الذمة ذكر أنه يطالبه به. So, and if it is property, so then the claimant should clarify that it is in the possession of the defender and that he is claiming that it belongs to him. So claimant should say that it belongs to me. It is right now in the possession of such and such person, but it belongs to me. But if it is something in the dhimma, so dhimma, who remembers what's the meaning of dhimma and what is the opposite of the dhimma? Fi dhimmatihi, and opposite of that is no, we have done all of that, dhimma. So for example, I take your car it is red car. Let's say red, let's say Mercedes, some certain, and I do have 10 other, same one, same color, same model. I steal your car. Is it in my dhimma or not? And another question, I have 10 kgs of barley and you have only 1 kg. I steal your 1 kg and just I mix it. Is it in my dhimma or what? So the second one is dhimma, in my dhimma, and the first one is not. Dhimma is something which is either disposed or either not possible to identify. Okay, but what about the first one? It is, we call it fil yad, okay, or we call it al-ayn al-qa'imah. Okay, so it is still existing. So when you demand the exact thing, the very thing. But if you demand not the thing, the actual thing, but something similar to it, so we say that is dhimma. Yeah, so you know, we have this book called معجم مصطلحات الفقهاء, written by Imam Nasafi radiallahu anhu. So that is the terminologies. Make sure that you guys buy that and you guys use that, okay? فإذا صحت الدعوة. Sidi, are we going very detailed? Shall we do it? We should do detail, isn't it? So because I don't know, are they sleepy or I don't know what's happening in here?
It's been a break, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I think they need to go with the mom.
Yeah. They say if you want to test the knowledge of the faqih, question him about hayd and buyu'. Then you will know. Hayd because fuqaha normally they don't have it, so they don't know it. Muamalat because they don't go to the thing, you know. But about where to place your hand and how, you know, how long it should be, well, they discuss it all the time. They comment every day, you know. So, okay, Sayyidi. You know, now the Islamic finance is very important, hot issue. Russia, right now, they have invested 10 billion pounds, $10 billion for the Islamic finances, research and everything to do. Okay, and Emirates, Qatar, they are investing a lot of money for this. All of that money is going for the same, you know, people who are taking same, you know, muftis, etc. But they are producing nothing. Okay, so make sure that you guys understand the subject properly. Dhimma, it is your responsibility. Okay, so you are responsible to something which is mithli, it will be in your dhimma. Do you understand? Something which is something which, for example, you know, the makil and mawzoon, so that will be in your dhimma. Okay, so if you mix it, but anything which is, for example, with the pieces, so you can return it back by itself. Okay, unless you dispose that, so then it will transfer into your dhimma. But for example, in the case of barley, so your barley, the very barley is still there, but we cannot separate it. Understand? So even if it still exists, we say it is in your dhimma. So you're responsible to refund it. But what about car? I have 10 cars exactly as yours, and I will just mix them up. So we do not say dhimma, because you can come and identify it. Yeah. So anything for which you have to refund, so all of that is in your dhimma, and anything which you can return it back as itself, so that is not dhimma. Al-ayn and dhimma. Okay, so فإذا صحت الدعوة سأل القاضي المدعى عليه عنها. So when claimant establishes his case, so after giving the actual definition, so that much was taken from me, okay, and what exactly and how much, all of that, and then the judge will ask the defendant about that thing. فإن اعترف قضى عليه بها. So if he admits, so then he will order to refund. وإن أنكر سأل المدعي البينة. But if defendant denies that, so the judge will ask him for a proof, ask the claimant for the proof. فإن أحضرها قضى بها. So when judge, if claimant brings the proof, that's it. It means that defendant has to refund. وإن عجز عن ذلك وطلب يمين خصمه استحلفه عليها. But if he is unable to bring a proof, but if claimant demands the defendant to take oath, so judge asks the defendant to take oath. Okay, obviously oath does not work. I don't believe it ever has worked, you know. So even if you go to the even if you look into the narration, that even there is this narration in which even some of the Sahaba actually was in court case against Rasulullah. Okay, so the oath, it is, I would say, it is like a symbolic thing. Okay, it does not have very, unless it is quite noble person. Okay, but in the court cases, you rarely find nobility. Everyone will try to prove that he is right. So it is, I would say, it is mainly for the noble people, or the main foundation of the case is proof. Now I want to ask you guys, what about defendant bringing a proof? Do we accept that or not? So let's say that I have stolen your car. You claim that it is yours and you bring the proof that it is yours. And then I bring a proof that it is mine. We go to the judge. What is going to happen? What do you think? So both of the claimant and defendant, they provide a proof. This is one of the masail in which the Hanafi school contradicts itself. Obviously, for me, there is no contradiction because there is disagreement between Abu Hanifa himself and the official Hanafi school. Official Hanafi school says, judge dismisses the proof of the defendant. Abu Hanifa says, it will be based on the culture. Judge looks into both of the cases and makes his ijtihad. So according to the official Hanafi school, as the oath of the claimant is dismissed, so on the same way, the proof of the defendant is also dismissed.
Could it be, let's say, for example, that scenario didn't happen, then the claimant brings the proof, and then he takes back his belongings, but then 2 weeks later, the defendant then makes a counterclaim, so then he has his proof, so then they'll come back to him.
No, that will be the same case, you know. So they say that it is the defendant because he is denying that it belongs to him, you know. So he is the defendant. He is still defendant. He will remain defendant. Unless if there will be new transaction. So he can claim for the new transaction, but for the past one, he will remain forever.
What does it mean the Hanafi school opposes its own principle?
No, because Hanafi school is very messed up, you know. The most, you can say, established fiqh is Shafi'i fiqh. You never find contradiction because all of that is based on the opinion of Imam Shafi'i radiallahu anhu. Okay, but Hanafi is never that. So it could be one mas'ala, but so many opinions, but all of them is not, you can say, application of the same principle, but different principles. Do you understand? Because Abu Hanifa has got his own, if you remember in Usul, everyone. Okay, but about the same mas'ala. But in Shafi'i fiqh, if there is disagreement, so most of the times because of one reason. So someone was unable to apply the same principle in the correct way. So because of that, they have disagreement. But in our fiqh, is not the case. Sometimes that could be, but also most of the time because they are using different principles. So for example, in this issue, official Hanafi fiqh says we go with the mashhur hadith. اليمين على المدعي البينة على البينة على المدعي واليمين على من أنكر. Weak hadith, مشهور hadith. But Abu Hanifa says muamalat is urf. So this mas'ala is based on two separate foundations. So definitely there will be disagreement. But in Shafi'i, if there would be disagreement, so someone missed the condition of the very principle. Yes, so the most accurate fiqh, the most consistent fiqh is the Shafi'i. Okay, and the next is Hanbali. Okay, and the next is Maliki, and the very messed up is the Hanafi fiqh in terms of inconsistencies, because it's based on each we have a lot of mujtahideen, each of them has their own principles, and the latest fuqaha, most of the time they will be unable to trace the opinions back to the foundations of the fuqaha, all of them things. Yeah, so that's why the most messed up and the most accurate and the most consistent is the Shafi'i. They say you can be faqih of Shafi'i fiqh in 40 days, but you cannot be faqih of Hanafi fiqh even in 40 years. It's because of that. Okay, Sayyidi. Then he says, وَإِنْ قَالَ لِي بَيِّنَةٌ حَاضِرَةٌ وَطَلَبَ الْيَمِينَ لَمْ يُسْتَحْلَفْ عِنْدَ أَبِي حَنِيفَ رَحِمَهُ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى. If claimant says, I have got the proof, but I want the defendant to take oath, Abu Hanifa says, no, we do not go with that, but he has to provide the proof. So the oath will be only when he's unable to provide the proof. ولا ترد اليمين على المدعي. So obviously after the turn is that claimant provides the proof. If he is unable, then defendant takes oath, and after that we do not ask the claimant to take oath also. No. Okay. Obviously we have this hadith, single chain narration, in which there was a case in which Rasulullah accepted the claim based on one witness and one oath against the defendant. Okay, so obviously the witnesses, okay, in some certain cases we need two witnesses. Okay, but what about if I'm claiming something but I have only one witness? Can I set up my claim based on one witness, and instead of providing the second witness, I take oath? So one witness and oath. In Hanafi school, no. In Shafi'i, Hanbali, yes. Because of that single chain narration. Shafi'is could claim against us, saying it's also mashhur, and they would have right to do so. ولا تقبل بينة صاحب اليد في الملك المطلق. So let's suppose that this is my so I'm using this phone. So I'm صاحب اليد. صاحب اليد is the person who possesses something, or I'm driving my car. So I'm صاحب اليد. I possess my car, and someone comes and actually claims that it is his car. Understand? So right now, who has to provide the proof? Is it my duty to provide the proof? We say zahir is sufficient, because in the zahir it is my car, because I'm driving. Do you understand? Obviously this mas'ala, inshallah, we'll come back to it, okay, because there are some certain issues related to this. So for example, ownership not through specific way. So for example, saying that it is by mirath. For example, it is by inheritance. Or saying that it is, I bought it, or it is gift. Okay? Or it is some specific way of ownership. But it is just, it belongs to me, finish. How? Well, not specified. وإذا نكل المدعى عليه اليمين قضي عليه بالنكول وألزمه ما ادعى. Okay, so but what about if defendant refuses to take oath? In that case, qadi will say it is nukul. Obviously, nakala in Arabic language means refusing, denying to take oath. So nukul means the claim is accepted, claim is proven. Okay, so because the defendant is refusing to take oath means he knows that it does not. So he knows that claimant is right. Yeah. وينبغي للقاضي أن يقول إني أعرض عليك اليمين ثلاثا فإن حلفت وإلا قضيت عليك بما ادعاه وإذا كرر العرض ثلاث مرات قضى عليه بالنكول. So it is recommended. Keep in your mind in the fiqh books what is the meaning of ينبغي. It means he has to. Okay, so most of the time in our Hanafi books when it says ينبغي, so it means يجب. Okay. Yeah, so there are quite few subjects that you guys need to do. Okay, so we have this Imam Laknawi, Imam Abdul Hayy Laknawi radiallahu anhu, quite recent scholar from subcontinent. He has written a book called An-Nafi' al-Kabir. So it is just introduction, okay, to the Al-Jami' al-Saghir or Rasm al-Mufti, Sharh Uqud Rasm al-Mufti by Imam Ibn Abidin, Imam Shami. These two books you guys have to all the time reading if you want to be mufti. So it's compulsory because that gives you the terminologies, because ينبغي Quduri uses for yajibu, but Sahab al-Hidayah uses for yustahabbu. You understand? So all of them differences. So these two books are really good. The book of Ibn Abidin and the book of Laknawi, An-Nafi' al-Kabir. No, he has to. He has to, yeah. But ينبغي in Arabic language means recommended. Okay, advisable. Yeah, but what does it mean? So even if Qadi does not offer, it's still valid. Okay, but in here it is ينبغي means يجب. So in here, judge has to say to the defendant, I'm offering you to take oath, or I'm asking you to take oath 3 times. So if defendant does not take even after 3rd time, so he says now it is nukul. He is refusing to take oath, means the case is proven against him. وإذا كانت الدعوة نكاحا لم يستحلف المنكر عند أبي حنيفة رحمه الله تعالى. But if the case is about the marriage, so according to Abu Hanifa, there is no oath. ولا يستحلف في النكاح والرجعة والفيء في الإيلاء والرق والاستيلاد والنسب والولاء والحدود واللعان. So in the following cases there is no oath. So right now I do not recall, but Quduri is very accurate, in his texts. So my advice to you, or it is your homework, make sure that in my understanding the second sentence is takhrij. So the first one is actually the statement from Abu Hanifa. So most likely Abu Hanifa actually explicitly said that there is no oath in the marriage, finish. And then as you can see, Quduri made separate sentence for the list of the things in which there is no oath. So I think Imam Quduri is indirectly referring that all of these are takhrij. on the statement of Abu Hanifa. Wallahu alam. Just it is your homework. Go and double check. I cannot recall it. So, sorry? Sorry? What do you think? Are you married? Okay, so what do you think? So, okay, so let's say that I say that I say to this lady, I have sent your father, okay, to marry you to me, and your father came back to me and said that you're happy with it, and that happened in front of 2 witnesses. Then lady says, no, I did not agree. I have to bring proof. But if I'm unable to prove, does judge ask her to provide to take oath? Abu Hanifa says no. Whatever she said, that's what it is. No oath. Yeah. So that is the Surah Al-Mas'ala. Okay. And then Quduri says, وَلَا يُسْتَحْلَبُ فِي النِّكَاحِ. So as you can see, he's mentioning the list separately. So in my understanding, he's referring that it is takhrij. Okay. So in the following matters, there is no oath. So either claimant proves or either his case is void. His case is invalid. So what are the cases? So first is marriage. The issues related to the marriage. Raj'a, the issues related to taking back. Can you give me Surah Al-Masala, any of you? So how in Raj'a oath can happen? What is he referring to? Yes? Yeah. So? Okay, excellent. I think we already discussed this. So for example, she says, my third period has expired. Does she have to take oath? Abu Hanifa says no. Are you guys understanding? Say the understanding. Is it easy? What's your name? Nasif. Asif. I'm sorry, I have very weak memory. What's your name? Alex. Are you understanding it? Said your name is? Shams. Shams. Today is your first day. 21st of March is the first day of Shams. MashaAllah. Everyone is understanding. Ladies understanding, inshallah. It's easy, yeah? Okay. Because from what I can understand now, based on your reaction, there were a lot of masail you guys did not understand because you're unable to have conversation with me. So you have to stop me, we have to understand it. If we complete Quduri, there is no Quduri after this Quduri, So understand it properly. Wal-fay fil ila. Who remembers what is the meaning of ila? What does this chapter speak about? Ila.
When the husband makes a vow not to.
Excellent. So give me Surah Al-Mas'ala. So it's actually it's the same as Raja, isn't it? Taking back. So how, for example, oath supposed to be taken, and Abu Hanifa says no, we don't take oath in here. How? So ila is, I say to my wife, I'm not going to have sex with you for 4 months or more. That is ila. So if I will oppose what I mentioned, means I have to make compensation, kafara. Okay, so but if I fulfill it, what is going to happen? Separation, divorce. So if I want to avoid it, so I have to take her back, making kafara, taking her back. Okay, so I will say I took her back. She says no. So either I prove or either what she says will be proven without her taking oath. Riq, slavery. So give me the Surah Al-Mas'ala. How oath can happen? Slavery.
Would be if a master sets his slave free,
Yeah.
Then he makes a claim saying I did not set him free,
Okay.
but he has no proof. So then the slave will be free because he doesn't have to take an oath that he did set me free.
Who is claimant and who is defendant in this mas'ala?
Claimant will be the master.
So,
So he is claiming that so he did not set him free. He's still his slave.
claiming the slavery.
If you
But
have a slave,
yeah.
you don't have to take an oath. He's in your possession.
So in your mas'ala, the claimant is the slave.
The master.
Because in his mas'ala is the. But you are saying that.
He doesn't have to take an oath if he has a slave. If he's in his ownership.
No. Right now it is dispute between the slave and master. Only in that scenario there could be oath. But who is the claimant and who is the slave? I mean, who is the defendant? So let's say that I will say to my slave, I did not set you free. And he says, no, you did set me free. So who is the claimant and who is the defendant?
In that case, maybe the slave is the claimant.
I think it is actually slave. So does master have to take oath? No, either slave proves what he says or either master keeps him back. Does he take oath? No. Anyway, it is quite tough question. It is your homework. Just go and check because in here claimant, who is claiming and who is defending? So because master is denying the freedom, but slave is claiming the freedom. Okay. It is confusing, just keep in your mind in the Islamic fiqh. It's not the case that first person is always the claimant. So it's very possible that first person could be defender. Do you know the person who makes the claim in our fiqh could be defender? We have to look into the technical thing, what's happening in there. Is he denying something or is he claiming? So if he is claiming, so that's what claimant is. Okay, so anyway, this is your homework. I'm going to give you another angle of the mas'ala. So who cannot go out? Who cannot go out of the case without permission of the judge? Is it slave or is it master? Do you remember the definition of quduri? The claimant is the one who does not have to continue, but defender is the one who has to continue. So who is the one who has to continue? Anyway, this is your homework. Why do you think he's defendant? Yeah, so is it because you are copying him? Is it because, because it's exactly what he said, isn't it? So easy answer. This is your homework. Just apply the definition of quduri on this matter and just contemplate over it. The next is istilad. What is the meaning of istilad and how this mas'ala can happen? So first of all, istilad is walad, making your slave as walad. Istilad is making your she slave as walad. So how this can happen? Yes, please. Yes. Okay. So the claimant is Did you understand his mas'ala? I think you are right, but in different mas'ala. His mas'ala is slightly different. So who is the claimant? Yes, she's slave is claiming that she's Walad. So, by the law, she's supposed to be free after the death of the master. But the master says, no, you did not give birth of me from me. Okay, then we say she has to prove what she said, or else master's statement will be taken without him taking oath, because she is the one who is claiming the freedom. Because claiming that she's Walad means I want to be free, so she's the claimant. He says no.
You know, in that scenario where the master would want to sell her,
Yeah.
would it not also be tuhma then for the master?
Your issue is slightly different. Okay, so what do you say in your issue? So I'm selling, and she says you cannot sell because I'm Walad. So who is the claimant in here?
So she'd be the claimant.
Because she is claiming the freedom, isn't it? I mean, she's claiming that because I'm free, you cannot sell me. Yeah. So either she proves, or either we'll go with him. والنسب والولاء والحدود. So what is the nasab? Lineage. How it can happen? So the dispute about the nasab. Yes, please.
So someone claims to be someone's son,
Yes.
so he's made the claim.
So let's suppose that so this Ahmad is claiming that Mahmoud is his father.
Yeah.
Okay? Or Mahmoud claims that Ahmad is not his son. So who is claiming and who is defending?
The claimant will be the son
Why?
because he's the one who's making the claim, isn't it?
Inheritance issues and nafaqa issues. He is claiming money. He's claiming inheritance, and the Mahmoud says no. So either he proves, or either we go with Mahmoud. Walwila or walwala, that is the correct spelling. Both are fine. So what's the meaning of wala? If you remember, mawla al-itaq and mawla al-muwalad, if you remember. Mawla, al-wala, do you remember? Yes. Let's suppose that I free my slave, so wila of my slave belongs to me. Yeah. So let's suppose that. So who is the claimant? Give me Surah Al-Mas'ala. Obviously, slave in this mas'ala can be both claimant and defendant, isn't it? The freed slave, but in two separate scenarios. When he's going to be claimant and when he's going to be defendant. So means master will be claimant when if slave dies before him, isn't it? Because he's claiming mirath. And when slave will be claimant? When because he's claiming inheritance. Okay. Wal hudud, and the punishments, wal la'an. Hudud, let's suppose that I claim that this person has to be punished because of some reason. Okay, so I say that, yeah, for example, 2 months ago, judge has sentenced for hudud for him. Okay, let's say for honor. Okay, or for example for stealing. And he denies, he says, no, judge never did that. So either I have to prove, or either we go with him. Wal li'an. What is the meaning of li'an? Who remembers? Li'an is when his wife saying that she gave birth from someone else. Okay, so in that scenario, judge actually asks for proof if husband is unable to bring a proof, so then he takes oath for 4 times, and 5th time he curses himself. Do you remember li'an? Okay, so how to understand that there is no oath in here? So I will say yesterday, or for example last week, judge has sentenced this person to take oath. So I understand, I'm claiming. So either I prove or either we'll go with what he said. But we're not talking about the actual li'an case. In li'an case there is oath from both sides and there is cursing from both sides. Okay, but it is after the court case, someone else claims against another person saying that he had to take oath but he did not do so. Okay, so that is the Surah Al-Masala. وقال رحمهم الله Abu Yusuf and Imam Muhammad رحمه, they said يستحلف في ذلك كله إلا في الحدود واللعان. So according to Sahibain, so judge will take oath in all of these issues except in the last 2, hudud and li'an. You know, sometimes say it happens that because when you go to the lecture, not this type of academic, but in front of for the layman, you bring very bright points, very interesting points. Everyone will get excited, you know. They will say, oh, from tomorrow I will start studying, you know. They never know that for you to make that half an hour of beautiful, bright lecture, if it is authentic lecture, you have to study thousands of hours this type of boring thing, you know, difficult and complicated thing. For them, knowledge in each single page, there is exciting matters, you understand? Stupid understanding. For example, in this entire book, maybe you can do let's say 1 hour of exciting speech, you know. But look, we have been studying for 3 years, very boring, isn't it? So knowledge is like that. Okay, so they say in our language, we say seeking knowledge is equal to making, you know, digging whale with needle. Understand? So that's how it's difficult. Okay, so but people think, oh yeah, just by looking at exciting lecture, yeah, tomorrow, and when they come, they find out about how difficult it is, so they just go back home. But we need it. We need this. So it's the same as, do you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger comes in front of people, does this, beautiful, then everyone, yeah, I want to be like that. They go to gym, they see how difficult it is, you know. They say, I'm not doing it, it's not for me. So it's very, very same, you know. Very boring. Knowledge is very boring. But it will make you very, you can say, superior, intellectually and academically. وإذا ادعى اثنان عينا في يد آخر okay, my question to you guys, في يد آخر, can you read this correctly? في and then يد and then آخر with زرزبر properly. Yes. Yad is majroor, isn't it? Why you are saying yadi? It is yadin. Okay, آخر is مضاف إليه, so majroor. وكل واحد منهما يزعم أنها له وأقام البينة قضى بها بينهما وإن ادعى كل واحد منهما نكاح امرأة وأقام البينة لم يقضي بواحدة من البينتين ويرجع إلى تصديق المرأة لإحداهما. Okay, Sayyidi. Let's suppose that this is my book. 2 of you guys will come and claim that this book belongs to you. Okay, and each of you provide a proof. So what is going to happen now? Who is the claimant and who is the defender?
Both of them will be the claimants.
And both are defendants also, yes. Yeah, because each of them claiming, okay, something which belongs to, which is in the hand of third person. Okay, so in that case, judge, so if evidence is acceptable, so judge will say it is between you 50-50. Okay, but what about if two people will come and claim about a lady that she's married to him? Yeah? Why are you laughing? Yeah? Was it about you or about someone else that you remember now? Because you are laughing. Someone else? Okay. Your friend? Is it one of the guys who is absent today? Yeah. I know who it could be, Yeah. So two people come and claim that this lady is his wife, married to him. Okay. And then each of them provide proof. So two witnesses. So what's going to happen? So judge does not look into the evidences, but he asks the lady. So, and then lady says, so either she says no, none, or either she chooses the most wealthiest, saying him. you know. Can the lady ask for the bank account to show the bank accounts in there? Yeah. Yes. No, Ein in here means Ein is actual thing. So Ein is two terminologies. One is taken from the Ein means the actual commodity. Okay, a mal thing, something. Okay, so and it's taken from there that it is still there. So that's Ein. Okay, or Thimma. So it's not opposite. So it could be that it is. It's not in his possession, but it could be somewhere. But they're claiming, saying that. No, it's actually Ayn. You are right, actually. Because if it would be Dhimma, so it would be two separate things. For example, borrowing money. So in this mas'ala, let's suppose that it was not Ayn, specific thing, but Dhimma, saying, he took from me £1,000. And you're also claiming that, no, it was my 1,000. So what judge would say in there? Both are providing the proofs. I'm saying he borrowed from me £1,000. You say, no, it was my £1,000. You provide proof, I provide proof. Dhimma. So what's going to happen? Sorry? No, we say it's 2,000. So it means he borrowed from two of them. Because they are not claiming the very. It's in Dhimma. But if it is Ayn, for example, car, this specific car, yes, so one thing cannot belong to, so then it will be 50. But if it's 1,000, so it's possible that 1,000 borrowed from him and 1,000 borrowed from the other person. You understand? So it's a good point. It is Ayn opposite of Dhimma. Yes, correct, yes. Okay, Sayyidi. So you see, so if two guys come claiming that it is his wife, so Abu Hanifa said she should ask him to show his bank accounts. Understand? So Abu Hanifa is giving a good, advice. So we will go with what lady says, and also she does not take oath.
Could she deny both of them?
Yes. No. So it is. That's a really good thing. In Quran and Sunnah, Hanafis do not take the opposite mafhum al-mukhalafa, opposite meaning. But in the fiqh books they take it. So if they specify, means the other option is not there. المرأة لأحدهم ارجعي لا تصدق المرأة لأحدهم. Yeah, what's that?
If the judge asks both the ladies and they both say that he is, then is that true then? So he's married to both of them?
No. So judge dismisses the proofs of these two guys, and he asks the lady. Yeah. So in here, مفهوم المخالفة has to be taken. But if you remember, what's the general principle about the oath? In the marriage, no oath, isn't it? So based on the principle, she has a right of saying none. But based on these very texts, by dismissing the general principle, no, she has to take one of them too. But I think that general principle is actually the thing, you know. It's not exemption from that. Just clarification, further clarification. So مفهوم المخالفة, according to here, she cannot say none. Okay? But the general principle is still there, you know. It is still there. Good point. When was the last time I taught Mukhtasar al-Quduri? So, sorry? No. I mean this chapter. This chapter, 2015 or 2015, 5 years. I have to revise it. I remember when I first time I taught it was 1995. So each time when I used to teach, I used to by myself. I used to make the preparation based on different commentaries. Commentary of Zahidi, commentary of Al-Haddadi, Siraj al-Wahhaj, and Al-Jawhar al-Nayr, that type of books. But after completing Usul al-Fiqh, and that was 1996, I mainly used to just rely on the Usuli books. But then you catch up, you start thinking as Quduri does, so that's how. Yeah, so, but revision is needed, means we have to do some commentary on the book. وإن ادعى اثنان كل واحد منهما أنه اشترى منه هذا العبد وأقام البينة فكل واحد منهما بالخيار إن شاء أخذ نصف العبد بنصف الثمن وإن شاء ترك. So let's suppose that two people are claiming that he bought this slave or this car, for example, and each of them have provided the proof. So now they have a choice. Either they take half of the commodity for half of the value, or they just leave it. فإن قضى القاضي به بينهما فقال أحدهما لا أختار لم يكن للآخر أن يأخذ جميعه. But what about after the judgment of the judge? So one of them says, look, I'm not taking my share. Okay, so the second person cannot take everything based on the judgment of the judge. Because what was the judgment of the judge? Half. Okay, so that means that he cannot buy the rest, not based on the judgment, because the judgment will bring some certain consequences. So if seller will say no, so there will be certain consequences. But so means buyer cannot force the seller to sell the rest based on the judgment of the judge. But can they agree to buy? Definitely yes. But using the judgment of the judge, he cannot force the seller to sell the rest. Yeah. But by new offer and accept, yeah, definitely yes. Okay, Sadie, shall we just have short break?